Occurred the 16th of June 2013, 22 hours 45 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Whiting, in USA. Shape, light duration 45 seconds. No of observers. 1 characteristics: left a trail, electrical or magnetic effects, unnaturally moving blue lights. 2 of them was looking at direction of moon. There was a high altitude blue light I thought was a shooting star, until it bounced, changed direction 90 degrees and startled me. It then vanished towards an area about 20 degrees above the moon's position. As I kept looking for it, a second blue light looked like it got closer and brighter, then turned back and vanished. Scared the hell out of me. Nothing moves like that.
Occurred the 27th of July 2016, 21 hours 15 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Whiting, in USA. Shape, triangle duration, NLT, 15 seconds. Characteristics: lights on object, aura or haze around object, triangle moving at high rate of speed. Saw large-ish dark, silent, triangle-shaped object with 3 lights on each corner. The lights were a pale yellow and looked hazy. It traveled from west to east at an extremely fast rate of speed across the sky and proceeded to bank hard to the right until losing sight of it on horizon.
Occurred the 1st of October 2016, 22 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Whiting, in USA. Shape, circle duration 15 minutes. Characteristics: lights on object, orange lights moving up, down, east and west. Then met up to form a circle.
Occurred the 17th of August 2006, 23 hours 8 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Cedar Lake, IN, USA. Shape, other duration 10 seconds. No of observers. 2 characteristics: lights on object, aircraft nearby, floating lights in a rooftop formation. While returning home from town after picking up pizza, we forgot to drop off a movie. I began to turn around in a vacant golf course. When I turned north into the lot, there was a bright series of lights directly in front of us and just over our heads. The sky was light blue with thin wisps of clouds. Our windows were down and I was talking on the phone to a friend. My daughter and I were amazed at what was in front of us, and I expressed this to my caller and daughter by saying, "Oh my God, what is in front of us?" I said, "Are those planes? They can't be planes. What is in front of us?" I leaned my head towards the open window for any sound. My daughter was already amazed by what she saw. We both were excited and stunned by what we thought was a UFO. My daughter actually yelled, "It's a UFO. I think it's going to land." My other daughter in the back seat said she couldn't see anything and was frightened, telling us she wanted to get out of here quick. I told my caller that she needed to step outside and look north. There are some kind of lights in the sky, but it was already fading away while I was speaking to her. What my daughter and I viewed was a multiple light formation containing 6 individual lights that were very bright in the center and grayish on the outside. My daughter, age 15, said that she could see a thin grey outline like it was a craft. I did not view that myself, but I was also looking over at her and glancing back to my other daughter while talking on the phone. It happened very quickly. 5 of these lights were in the formation of a rooftop with 1 light at the peak and 2 lights on each side. The 6th light was centered a short distance below the peak. They all stayed in this formation and seemed to float, moving only slightly up and down as if they were suspended in air. We had the impression that whatever we were seeing was attempting to land in the field or empty parking lot. We thought it was a formation of jets, but they were way too close to each other. With the windows down, there was no sound of planes either. And there was a plane flying below them, IA, in a slanted east to west direction, which my daughter pointed out when I asked if they were planes. "No," she said, "that's a plane below them. This is a UFO." It was obvious these sets of lights were significantly different than a plane light. Then all of the lights seemed to close at once, as if they each had a sliding door that closed from our right to our left. Each light left a very small sliver of light like a piece of moon. The formation then seemed to move slightly up and west. It had no shape of an object, like the side of a plane would have, or anything of that nature as it turned. It was just those slivers of light that moved as one. They didn't move out of our sight, they disappeared out of our sight. It was as if they were the same background of the sky, but with slivers of light. I guess you would say whatever it was now seemed to be transparent. My daughter was asking me if I could see the thin grey outline of it too because she could and she knew it was an UFO. I had glanced away and found it difficult to see it again, but she watched for a second or two more but she said it was gone, and just disappeared. Very weird and very cool. Now, let me tell you. There is an air show scheduled this weekend in Chicago. My family did view a jet flying over. My husband could hear the jet when it went over. I was in the car alone earlier and saw a jet overhead too. I recognized it as a jet because jets are obvious with their beak-style nose and slim body. I thought that maybe there was an air show somewhere this weekend and that was why a jet was in our area. And that is also why my first thoughts at seeing this formation was that it has to be jets in formation. However, when we were viewing this 10 seconds of lights there were no sounds of planes, jets, no visuals of a plane, jet either while it was facing us or when it turned, moved or whatever it did to leave. And I don't think jets just disappear. This was truly the coolest thing we have ever seen and I was glad that I saw it with someone else. Excitedly I called a family member and my other daughter called a friend. I thought about calling someone somewhere and reporting it, but who? You don't want people to think you are some kind of kook or something. I also hoped that maybe someone else had seen it and it would be on the news or in the paper. I don't know if this is an official site to report UFOs or if it does any good to report it at all. But it was definitely awesome to see something that unknown and interesting.
Occurred, the 7th of September 2011, 21 hours 54 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Cedar Lake, IN, USA. Shape, circle. Duration, 20 seconds. No of observers. 2 characteristics. Lights on object, orangish circular shaped object. Multiple sightings. 1 craft. Over a few weeks at 21:54 we witnessed an object moving across the sky. This is now the 3rd time that multiple witnesses have seen this object. It was a circular object that was orange in color. No flashing lights to indicate a commercial or private aircraft. No red or blue or white. There was no sound to indicate the size of the craft or type of craft it may have been. Jet, commercial, etc. The object moved across the sky going south coming from the north point in the sky. It moved behind the trees and the object was no longer visible. The other sightings were the same except for one thing, different points in the sky, but moving north to south. We have never been able to capture a photo of it until tonight. Another strange sighting we have all seen, at least 4 witnesses, was a light blue hue circular shaped object about the size of a golf ball in the distance moving slowly from east to west with a gradual descent, then changed direction and it began to head south. This sighting was a 15-second sighting before losing sight in the tree line. Now if this had happened one time we would say must have not been what we thought. But now this is the 4th strange light unexplained object that does not in any way appear to be a commercial, private or any other aircraft that I have seen. All of the sightings we later in the evening and again no sound could be heard to indicate an aircraft that we can identify. The latitude and longitude was 41.37 degrees to 87.45 degrees. Time stamped photo was 21:54.
Occurred, the 22nd of April 2012, 21 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape, light duration, 1 month. No of observers. 1 characteristics. Lights on object. I have seen the same object in the sky for the past month. It always appears around 9 p.m. and usually stays there until 2300. It moves but usually turns around and goes back. The speed at which it travels varies from time to time. The exact distance from me to the object is unknown. It is located east of Cedar Lake. It is also pretty high up in the sky for me to see it over the trees in my front yard.
Occurred, the 27th of July 2019, 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape, cigar. Duration, 30 seconds. No of observers. 3 characteristics. Lights on object, aircraft nearby. Cigar-shaped object with 2 bright white lights on either side. Observed a cigar-shaped object moving east to west at approximately 5,000 feet. The object was quite large and had 2 rectangle-shaped lights on the bottom at either end of the craft which lit up for a second as the craft paused in the sky. Then when the lights went out it jumped several hundred feet forward and repeated that pattern as it made its way across the sky. It was completely silent and flew directly over our location as all 3 of us looked up and tried to make sense of what we were seeing. Kinda flew like a rocket but no sound or smoke and flew parallel to the ground.